The Pietermaritzburg Economic and Justice Dignity Group has raised serious concerns about the persistently high price of food in the country. It says that this doesn't make sense given the fall in producer costs and now the flow of electricity, among other factors. It's calling on the Competition Commission to investigate its concerns, adding that it's concerned that some players along the food supply chain may be over-profiting from food prices. Well, to discuss this further, I'm joined by Mervyn Abrahams. He's a Programme Co-ordinator at the Pietermaritzburg Economic and Justice Dignity Group. Thank you very much, Mervyn, for joining us. So you argue that there are a number of economic factors which should see the price of food coming down, but that hasn't happened. Give us more colour around your assertion.
So good afternoon, and good afternoon to all your viewers. Over the last 3 or 4 months, we have seen slight decrease in food prices. That has been the case. However, at the beginning of September, we suddenly saw food prices spike yet again on the evidence based on our food basket of 44 very basic foods. In September, our food index rose by about 0.5%. This is at the same time as we have seen petrol prices coming down. We have seen interest rates coming down. We have also seen stability across our electricity supply, no load shedding, all factors which has contributed in the past years to food price increases. Now, when these factors are going in the right direction for the country, we are not seeing the same level of a deduction in the price of basic food at retail stores.
Yeah, Mervyn,
that is our area of concern.
Yeah. Mervyn, I wanted to ask you, which foods in particular have you seen, have been stubborn in coming down in price or have been going up?
So for the past month, for instance, we've seen a 30 kg of maize meal increase by 14 Rand. We've seen 5 kgs of sugar beans increase by almost 3 Rand. We have seen 6 liters of milk increase by almost 1 Rand and 34 cents. Tomatoes, eggs, brown bread, 25 loaves have increased by 10 Rand and 75 cents, as well as large increases in the price of potatoes. But with potatoes, we know that there is a shortage of potatoes on the market. So that could very well explain that increase. But all the other increases, we find it extremely difficult to explain. And hence, we are calling not just on the Competition Commission, but more importantly, we are calling on the retail sector to explain to South Africans why the prices continue to increase and what margins are they specifically working with in order for us to understand the basis for these increases.
So as it pertains to your complaint to the Competition Commission, what are you hoping that they're going to be able to do?
So let's also say that the Competition Commission has looked at this. They've just recently brought out a report. So I think the Competition Commission has done probably as much as they could. What we are asking for is for specific to investigate specific value chains. So to look at the value chain of bread and see exactly why we are seeing this price increase in bread. But even more important than the Competition Commission is our call to the retail sector to have to explain to South Africans exactly why they are increasing prices and under what pressures they find themselves at this point.
So while the global food prices have been coming down, South Africa's food prices still remain elevated. As you say, they ticked up in the recent data that came through. But of course, some people have attributed some of our price increases to the El Nino factor, the dry weather which resulted in drought and affected the agricultural sector. But ultimately, whatever the reasons are, obviously it's the consumer that's badly affected. And of course, you've spoken to us many times before about how some families don't get a full, nutritious meal.
Exactly. And even with the El Nino factor, which we are still watching at the moment, there is enough food supply. So that should not be an issue of concern right now. It might very well be in about 6 to 8 months from now. So that's the one factor. You know that what we are seeing is that households are unable to afford sufficient and nutritious food. When we look, for instance, at the national minimum wage and we subtract transport, we subtract electricity, then that leaves something like 1,700 Rand left over for food. And for a household of four, that would be something in the region of 4.50 Rand per capita per head. Now, that is absolutely insufficient in a context of very high food prices. So we really need to get to the bottom of it and understand exactly why it stays so persistently high.
All right, Mervyn, thank you so much for your time. As always, that was Mervyn Abrahams. He's Program Coordinator at the Pietermaritzburg Economic and Justice Dignity Group.